Hello, everyone. Andrew here. And I'm sure by now you've heard about this diesel fuel shortage that everybody's talking about. You keep hearing that we have a 25-day supply of diesel fuel, and that sounds really scary on the surface. And there's reasons that it is. But I want to talk to you today about not only the diesel diesel fuel shortage, but what that's going to mean to our economy and what that's going to mean to this already record high inflation, because it's really this double whammy of what's going on. I'm going to tell you why we're having this shortage right now, and also what's going to be caused by this shortage, and is it going to get any better? Hey, if you like what we talk about here, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really like seeing the comments, so you can tell me what you want to hear about. Like I said, today I'm going to talk about this diesel shortage supplies, and what they're talking about with that is the Energy Information, another government agency, but Energy Information Administration says that our distillate inventories are the lowest since 2008, and we have about a 25-day supply. And what they mean by that is that's distilled product that we're storing in mostly diesel fuel, jet fuel, and heating oil. Okay, and we have about a 25-day supply of that. Normally, this time of year, it always goes down this time of year because the demand is higher this time of year for those three things. But normally, this time of year, we'd have about a 40-day supply. And right now, we only have a 25-day supply. So what that means basically is if all the refineries were to stop tomorrow, we'd have 25 days worth. Now, that's not going to happen. But what is happening is we are having a lot less refining capacity in the United States. And how that affecting things is very simple. A year ago, diesel fuel was at $3.63 a gallon. This summer, it reached an all-time record high, 5.81 per gallon. So that's higher than it's ever been. And now it's came down just a little bit to yesterday or today. We were at 5.31 per gallon, and that's a nationwide average on that. But remember, that's what brings all of our goods to the market, basically. Every day, every grocery store gets a semi full of the groceries they need for the day, and all your department stores and all your stores in the mall, they all get their supplies by truck. At 5.31 a gallon, it's a lot more expensive to bring that to the stores. So that's going to naturally cause, they've got to recoup that cost somehow. So that's going to result in higher prices for people. And that's just one of the most obvious ones that people don't think about. When I started doing some research in this about refining capacity, what all diesel is used for, and things like that, it was really an eye opener. So I've actually got enough information to do a completely separate video just about our refining capacity and what's going to be happening with that. And that's some pretty scary information. So stay tuned for that one. I would anticipate that one being up one day next week. We'll have that one up. So go ahead and subscribe now so that as soon as that comes up, you'll be notified that that has came up, because it's really an eye opener what's happening with our refining capacities. I'm going to touch on that just a little bit today, but that's part of the reason that the prices are going up. You can bring all the oil out of the ground in the world, and if you don't have a way to refine it, it's not going to do you any good anyway. So that's what's causing the prices to go up. Is, again, we have this record low inventory. Well, not record low. 2008 was the last time we had this low of inventory. But because of that, prices are going up drastically. I was reading an article from Spectrum News, and it was a company called Thomas Concrete, and their manager said that they use approximately 400 gallons per day of diesel fuel to produce 500 yards of concrete per day. So imagine just doing the numbers on that. If it's gone up almost $2 or over $2 per gallon in the last year, if you need 400 gallons per day for 500 yards of concrete, you've increased it by over $800 per day, the cost of making that concrete. And look at how much concrete goes into almost every construction project. Needs a lot of concrete. And so you look at how much that's gone up. Well, unfortunately, they can't just eat that cost. They're running on bare margins right now. So they've got to pass that cost on to the consumer. That's what happens. So just when you think of you think of normally a semi running on diesel, but it takes 400 gallons of diesel to make 500 yards of concrete. That's huge when the price of it has gone up that much. That's absolutely huge. And we're going to see that with continued inflation. Part of the inflation, I talked about before, inflation was because the government spent too much money, but also the government has really declared war on the fossil fuel industries. and they're making it harder to start new refineries, to get the permits to get oil out of the ground. They're doing all they can because they don't want fossil fuels. That's fueling kind of a pun there, but that's fueling this inflation that we're having. The cost of getting those goods to market is going up so dramatically because their cost of fuel is going up. That's just economics 101. It's not, doesn't take that much to figure that out. But apparently some people can't figure that out. They're blaming inflation on everything except that. But that's a huge part of why all of our costs are going up. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, refining capacity, how much it's fallen in just the last couple of years. And what's happening is since the pandemic, we've actually lost over 1 million gallons per day of refining capacity. And again, the reason that's so important is you can pull all the oil out of the ground in the world, but if you can't refine it, it doesn't do any good. It doesn't do any good to just sit in storage facilities somewhere, not to mention we don't have the storage capacity for it anyway. So what we really need is more refineries. There has not been a significant new refinery built in the United States since the 70s. And the reason that is, so as in another article in the Institute for Energy Resources, and Chevron CEO Mike Wirth says he does not expect another refinery to be built in the United States ever again. Like ever again. We're never going to have another refinery built. And the refineries that we have are getting outdated and old, and they need millions, if not billions of dollars worth of upgrades just to be at full capacity. But the oil companies are not going to invest in this because why would they? The current administration has said very clearly they want to eliminate fossil fuels within the next 15 years. Well, it takes decades. If you build a refinery, it's going to cost billions of dollars. And it's going to take decades to recoup that billions of dollars that you spent on that. So why would you do that knowing that the current administration wants to eliminate this entire industry? They want it gone. They want to eliminate it in no uncertain terms. They have said that. So what incentive is there for there to ever build another refinery? None. And what that's going to do, it's going to keep diesel prices high. It's going to keep jet fuel prices high, which is make your airline tickets higher. And it's going to keep your heating fuel cost high as well, which just really affects everyday Americans' pocketbooks. And like I'd mentioned, since the pandemic, we've lost a million barrels per day because unfortunately, some shut down during the pandemic, and it's not feasible for them to reopen those facilities. One thing is they've added more environmental regulations, and so it's not feasible to bring them up to the new standards that need to have once they close to reopen those. So there's in the last 2 years, we've actually lost 5 refineries in the United States. So our capacity is, while demand is going up, our capacity to refine has gone down by 1 million barrels per day. So it's pretty crazy to think that they're going to build any more refineries. And I've got a whole new video that I'm going to talk about doing that. But yes, right now there is a huge diesel fuel shortage, and it's not going to get better. All the experts agree that it's probably not going to be until we go into this recession that's going to happen that the demand for diesel goes down, and the price for diesel won't go down until the demand goes down. And it's going to just, as long as there's still the demand, the prices are going to stay where they're at. Forecasts are that they're probably going to go higher. We're probably going to see $5.80 a gallon most of 2023. Anywhere between what it is now and $5.80 is kind of what the predictions I'm reading are going to be. So that diesel fuel price increase, or staying at this prices here, is going to continue to fuel inflation. That's what's going to happen, unfortunately. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you like about the video. If you think I'm wrong about it, please tell me that as well. I'm always open to any discussions that people would like to have about this. I've been doing a lot of research on this. And again, the more I dig into it, the more I find out that, the picture's not getting brighter, unfortunately. And like I say at the end of every video, we're all in this together. So let's get through it together. Thank you. Bye now.